James Smith.
And I'm Bill James.
And welcome to By the Fire.
In the studio today we have Alec Letarte. He's a young budding musician, lots of original compositions and really good ideas for songs. And Alec, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Alec Letarte, and I've been playing music since I was 15, and hopefully it takes me places.
That's a good, taking you places. Now, your latest song, Falling Aeroplanes, is very interesting because aeroplanes take you to places, right? Where you've never been, but they can also fall, and I like your analogy between an aeroplane and a human condition. That, you know, we're vulnerable, we fly sometimes, we land, we take off, and sometimes we crash and burn. But it's a very interesting... how did you get the idea for aeroplanes?
It started with the title, it seemed like a nice symbol, and then in the end it ended up being, like you said, the way you interpret it is pretty much what it is. Not wanting the rich to rule the world, and like how things crash and burn in relationships and that kind of thing.
Temporary. No, life's so temporary, isn't it?
It can be interpreted at multiple levels, the song.
I would say so.
Yes.
And I'd like to say it has nothing to do with the Air Malaysia thing. It has nothing to do with that, so...
Good.
But
I'd like to introduce at this time our guest interviewer, Chiquito.
Hi. Yeah, so Alec, what do you want people to gain from listening to your music?
I think the biggest compliment I get about my music is when people say, "Oh, I had that song in my head of yours," even a day or two after I played it for them. That's kind of what I like to get with my music, is that people enjoy it, they remember it, they can sing along to it, they want to get behind it. That's the main goal, I would say.
Yeah, exactly what happened to me when I heard the title.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, the question that everybody gets, and I'm going to be the guy to ask it. Alec, what are your early music influences?
Early, I learned to play guitar in grade 11 in a high school class, and at that time in high school, Led Zeppelin was the be-all and end-all. I mean, Jimmy Page, I learned every riff. And then eventually, by the time I left high school, I realized I wanted to write songs. And the person that really made that accessible was Noel Gallagher of Oasis.
Mm.
I just started learning some of his songs, maybe one or two a day, and just realized, like, this seems attainable. You know, he made it seem within reach, because he would have the first half of the song just repeat the second half, like all the lyrics were the same for the bridge, verse, and chorus, and then he would just double up the same lyrics. But I liked it. I mean,
so it's about communication and art, really.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to say something. Is that what you're trying to do?
Most of the time, I got a little something in there to say. Sometimes I'll write a straight up pop song, but most of the time it's what I'm feeling, and then I just try to explain it in words, and it comes out in poetry. I don't. It's usually I have a feeling of anxiety or just boredom, and I just think, what can cure this? And then I write a song that kind of takes on those emotions, I guess.
Yeah, it's important to express ourselves, right, as human beings, like we're just machines. So I think everyone has an artistic side, but they don't have a vehicle to. So, like you listen to Noel Gallagher, like people will say, when I heard the first time I heard your song, and I like I did work in aviation one time, but the thing is, aeroplanes are fascinating to me, and I've never heard that expression, falling aeroplanes. And so the title and the idea is like expression, you know. I mean, repetition in any song, right? You need that chorus.
You do, yeah. That's the thing, is I had a friend who wanted me to teach her how to write a song, and first thing I said is, you realize some things repeat. And she says, what do you mean? I said, like the chord progression will repeat. But this was all new to her. I thought everyone kind of figured that out, but yeah, music is definitely about repeating and looping.
Structure.
Yeah, and structure. And
All right, so what are you most passionate about? Like, what do you most enjoy writing about? Do you have anything in particular? Like,
I like trying to write a blues song most of the time. Most of the time I'm trying to write a blues song, and it ends up how it ends up, but...
Is it the human condition you're interested in, right?
No,
well, no matter what style of music.
It's mostly my condition. It's just... trying to express how I feel on paper. I mean,
Right.
there's no ulterior motives, really. I mean,
Yeah.
What comes first for you? You get a musical idea on the instrument and a melody, or the lyric that directs the direction of the song? In your case,
all
or
three.
All three of the
Yeah,
different
sometimes
types?
I'll come up with a guitar riff that I find interesting, and then add a melody and some lyrics. And lately, more often than not, I start with the lyrics, just because it's just the phase I'm in right now, I guess.
Exactly. So you're lyrically oriented, and then you put the music into.
And then I add the chorus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a chicken and the egg thing, which came first.
Yes, it's different with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no formula. It's just nice to know how people, on an individual level, work, how they get inspired, what inspires them. So did you start guitar at the same time you're interested in writing songs, or is your first instrument pretty well?
Yeah, guitar, I always knew I wanted to play, but I never had an opportunity to learn until that high school class. And at first I just wanted to play Jimmy Page riffs, and then by the time I left high school, I wrote my first song. And it's a little innocent, it's really... It's a little embarrassing now, but at least I wrote my first one in high school, and then I didn't write another one until 2 years into my post-secondary. And from that point on, I just kept writing. I just enjoyed it. I had a reason. And
Yeah. Were you playing in bands at university? Did you play in bands then, or just...
No, but
in...
it was the first time I ever went to an open mic. And the first time I did, I was terrified. I practiced these 3 songs, and I got up there and belted them out. I couldn't really sing back then. I would just yell my vocals, and then... So a lot of the regulars who could sing weren't too impressed with me, but the people who were coming off the street would appreciate the energy. That kind of gave me a lot of confidence, and then... Yeah, I really enjoyed the open mic thing, just because you get to the variety of listening to other musicians, and you get to express yourself. You can play whatever you want. You get 15 minutes up there.
Mm-hmm. I think that's how you become more of an artist as opposed to just a jukebox.
That's how it
sound
started.
like somebody else, because a lot of times people try to sound like somebody else, and they get acclaim for, hey, this guy plays just like so-and-so, where you're an artist from the beginning. You go out, you write your own song, you have your own sound, you're not concerned about sounding like somebody else. And that's what this show is about. It's about, featuring an artist that is true to themselves and true to their music.
I remember the second song I wrote, my roommate was like, I told him, I said, that kind of sounds like a Weezer song. And he ran with that, it sounds like Weezer. And finally, 2 weeks later, I said, no, it doesn't, this is...
People will often justify that because they can't believe that their roommate or somebody they actually know will write a song. It seems like people can't appreciate what's happening in their own circle. It has to come from the media. Like this artist has...
Yeah, you need that association to validate what
all of a
you've
sudden it's
done.
validated. All of a sudden you're
this?
viable as an artist because you're on video, on the big screen, right?
I have to agree fully with that.
I said, we're more interested in the artist and what fuels them than sales. To me, sales do not equal artistry. Sales is business, and it is a music business, so we're trying to strike the balance here between the business side of it and artistry. What propels music forward to the next generation.
I think a lot of original... Anybody that we know, like names in music, it start off with the love of music, original composition, but then there's a business aspect to take over. Then their songs start coming out. The need to you have to make another record because the company says so. So the business side is always entangled, isn't it? But you don't want it to destroy, the original intent of your artistic.
I learned real young, before I learned how to play guitar, that the songwriter makes all the money, and that the Beatles and the Rolling Stones got ripped off for the first half of their career. Yeah. So when I started writing songs, that seemed like the avenue to approach music by. That's where the money comes, that's the product. Other people can record it and you make money.
Exactly, yes. Most people don't know that, but
but I learned at a very young age, and I...
Right on the money there, yes.
So that's where I was aiming the whole time, songwriting.
What's your take on that, Chiquito?
I think it's excellent that you take the time to, write your own songs, and I know you have, you're inspired by Bob Dylan.
Lately it's Bob Dylan, yeah.
Yeah. So you don't get offended when you get comparisons to Bob Dylan because you were inspired by him, but you want to be known as your own artist.
It's funny because when I was in a band, the worst thing you could say when you brought a new song to the band, the worst thing a band member could say is, that sounds like so-and-so.
Right.
Looks like, sounds like.
Right.
And then, so I try not to do that to other people, but the layman doesn't know that that's impolite to a musician. They just ask it.
It's borderline a stupid thing to say to anybody that sounds like, because
Yeah.
does this sound harmonically the same, tone-wise, lyrically the same?
Structure.
Can they even give you an answer if you ask them a question?
It's an easy way out, it
It is an
seems
easy
like.
way out for many
But sometimes I think
people
people need to be kind to do that. I remember saying to my daughter once, I said, Dire Straits first came out, and I said, that guy sounds like Bob Dylan on some of his songs he did. And now look how stupid it was, you know, I mean, but sometimes you leave something to hang on, you hang your hat on to. You want to say, you sound like, look like, could be, but sometimes it's an insult to the musician, but at the same time, you need something. What are you going to say? Like, or you could say, I've never heard anything like that before in my life.
Good point. And I think at times it is presented as a compliment. We just, as writers, we don't know how to take it. You know, somebody would say, hey, that was great, it sounded like so-and-so. What they meant is that it's viable to them as a song, and we've got to, you know, so we just got to decide how we take it.
I don't think they're trying to be insulting,
right?
But
it can be.
It can be.
It can be. I know. It's very close to you when you write a song. It's your
because you're unique, right? And you don't want to be lumped in with. But unfortunately, that's like everything you do. People always try to categorise you and pigeonhole you, right? So I think that comes with writing original music. Is like a lot of people won't do it because they're afraid of being criticised. But then, like, you come out with some really good songs, and that one struck me as being very unique. And it's different to a lot. You know, the analogy. A precarious flight to, you know, the world, to human beings and what happens in the world, right? Where did you get the idea for that song? That was around what time?
that's one of the latest ones I wrote, and I just remember thinking, if something's falling, what's the worst thing that could be falling from the sky? And the thought struck me was the plane. What's the worst thing than a falling plane? It's terrifying. If you're in that plane, it's a pretty terrifying...
And there's very little chances of stopping that fall, right?
Yeah, it's a free fall.
Being in the aviation industry, how many planes recover from a fall?
Not many, like the aerodynamic stall or something like that.
Exactly.
You've got a little chance.
Yeah, so
because you're beyond the structural. But, you know, you're saying structure in that people are like aeroplanes, that if they get into a wrong attitude of attack, or they flight, they're too slow or too fast, too low, too high, go into bad weather. This is a human dilemma, right? Or same thing, you know, can happen to you as a human being.
Yeah, like relationships can crash and burn, like...
Flying too high.
Yeah, everything, nothing's forever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we're all vulnerable, right?
The human race alone. Empires crash and burn.
there we go. I mean,
the strongest of nations have crashed and burned throughout history.
And will continue to.
Yes.
so I tried to shine a little light on that with whatever symbolism I could use in the lyrics, but...
So what kind of audience do you think that Chiquito that would appeal to? That falling airplane analogy. What does it matter?
I do think it matters. I think it would hopefully open the minds of our youth, because his music is interesting and it is very unique. You know, it's his music tells a story, and I think a lot of people would appreciate his music if they gave it, you know, a chance.
I second that.
Yeah, you've got something to say. You know,
I've listened to his music, and I've noticed that he's one of the few people I know that is a pure artist. He writes his own songs, performs them his way. He's not concerned about anything going on around him, and that's what artistry is.
As a songwriter, though,
yes.
Of course, you have courage to do that because you could go out there and get stoned. You know, but half the people did that with Bob Dylan. They said, you know, this guy can't sing, he can't play, he can't, you know. So people are always going to stone you.
You're putting yourself out there.
That's brave. You have a brave heart to do that. Do you think there's a sense of vulnerability in writing your own stuff? You know, because you're actually putting out, you're putting out on paper what you feel for other people. They might relate to that.
Absolutely. Yes.
So,
Can I say something on topic here?
Go ahead.
The thing is when I was in a band, I would write or co-write the songs, and I would never get to sing them. But the last 5 years, I've really been struggling just to find my own voice. When I do a cover song, even, I try to sing it in my voice that I've hopefully is pleasant to some people's ears. You know what I mean?
You're interpreting the song.
Yeah, it's interpreting,
and you like the song. You actually believe the song that you're singing. You like it. That's why you're doing it.
Yeah, but the hardest thing was finding my voice, and I feel I still kind of am. It's not fully formed, but
you'll have many voices over the years. I think
it might be like Bill said. Yeah, I agree. It might be an evolutionary process where you're at today will be one voice. 5 years from now, you're in a different place in life in this journey we're on, and then your voice might even change.
That was Bob Dylan. I mean, Bob Dylan again because I'm a big fan of Bob Dylan, but his voice changed about 5 or 6 times. To the end when people said the guy can't sing. I mean, but that people always say that. But I guess it's an evolution. It's evolving, isn't it?
It is evolving, and it's kind of nice that it's evolving and that it keeps it fresh each time, and you can reinterpret your own songs or other people's songs.
What's your opinion on the state of the music business nowadays in this year 2015?
Well, my only perspective is from the up-and-coming artist, and it seems that nowadays you got to put everything up for free just so people will give it a listen. Whereas, selling CDs at your show and stuff doesn't seem to be as big a thing as it used to be, and the only way I know how to do it is I put it online, hopefully try to network a little bit, but...
Online distribution.
Yeah.
Would you be interested if a record company said we'll give you a limited contract to distribute X amount of copies?
I'd love a distribution deal of some kind. And
they say the Walmart deal is the best one. If you can get distributed in Walmart around the world, that's...
I'd love any kind of music business to get involved with my music. I mean,
you can't live on love and fresh air.
Well,
right?
Friends and family.
Need people artists need,
Be nice to
find my CD.
You gotta pay the hydro bill somehow, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes when you see an artist trying to get going, and my album, my CD, you hear it on the radio, and the different levels of radio where they'll throw it on a show and say, like, this guy's coming out with my new CD and so-and-so, so-and-so, and you kind of might end up in a... you might end up not selling one, and I know that from my own experience. But it's hard to ask for money for some art, but you need support, right?
I definitely, if I want to take my music to the next level, I need some kind of music support, or... I sent some burnt CDs to Mint and to Maple Records. That's the only thing I can think of, I'm not really a networker, but I don't even know if they listen to them or open them, and... I don't know. Networking and the business side isn't my forte. I write them, I sing them, and then I don't know what to do with them. That's my dilemma right now.
Yeah.
Signs of a true artist, eh? Anyways, it's plug time. Where can people sample your music? You have a website.
I do. The best place would be Bandcamp. It's alecletarte.bandcamp.com. You could also search my name in YouTube, and I got some stuff up on SoundCloud as well.
Okay, good. And you got a Facebook page people can like?
And I got a Facebook page, that's right.
Good, folks. Don't forget Alec Letarte at Facebook. Go give him a like.
That was great. That you're very open and honest with all the questions, and I enjoyed listening to you.
Yeah, Alec, it's great you came in today because we genuinely like. I've heard a few of your songs and you're performing, and they're catchy and they say something, right?
Definitely.
And there's, without any hype or without any agenda, I think what I like about your music is you don't really have any personal agenda except expression and creating that it's in the song.
Well, it's funny, my brother was in my band. His girlfriend at the time said, every time your brother writes a song, it's a love song. But every time Alec writes a song, you don't know what it's going to be. It's just... And I don't know what it's going to be either. I just...
Yeah. Spontaneous.
That's the magic of it, actually.
It is.
You're letting your inspiration dictate the song at the moment as opposed to sitting down and pre-planning a song.
I don't like to rewrite the song too many times. I write probably say 90% of the song. I might touch up a few lines, but mostly what comes out first I try to go with.
Yeah.
And the rehashing and rewriting is... I find it a little destructive, actually, to the song, but other people have other opinions on that, but...
Yeah, like, who said there's no good editing, only re-editing? Somebody said that. Was it Jonathan Swift? I don't know, some poet who didn't know it.
I remember...
So yeah, right. When you do keep second-guessing, I find that, too, that you can take something that's good, and instead of leaving it, you tamper with it, and it loses its. Now you're into production, right?
And yeah, it loses something. I'll agree with that. I'm not sure what it loses, but it seems that it's not as good as what was original. I don't know. We used to call it getting it from the void, just somehow.
Yeah. The golden horn.
Yes.
Whatever,
yes,
yeah.
No, I hear you.
It's there. You got to great.
Yeah.
It comes
you
got to
through
download.
Yeah. Even like
the whole human condition, this whole thing comes right through you.
It's there.
Everyone I
really.
respect, like Bob Dylan, Neil Young, they'll say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Keith Richards once said that we never wrote a single song. They were already written. We just put them into music, into a medium where people could hear it. They exist in the universe because they're all based
We're all
on
connected. We have
human
this
condition.
story. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I remember, like, when Bob Dylan's interview when he was 70, I think, he said, how did you do it? Where did it all come from? How do you just said, I don't know.
I don't know.
he said, I don't know. I
You
just
just and could you do it again? No. So you have a time right now, Alec, where you don't have to explain. Yeah, you don't have to explain where. You got stuff there, people. It's interesting. It says something, and for me, anyway. And I hope all the folks out there get a chance to listen to some of your stuff on Bandcamp. I know you performed lots of different places, like low-key places, and it's not. I know you're not an ego person, but you need those opportunities for people to listen to you and express what when you're saying something to people, right?
yeah, it's funny. I don't consider a song finished until I performed it out in public. Like if I write a song, perform it in my apartment. It's still not finished until there's an audience that's heard it. I got a reaction.
That's where it's born.
Yeah.
There we go.
Now we've had, yes.
Yeah.
It actually is born. It's conceived when you're writing it at home.
But you don't.
It's actually born, and we got a birth certificate on our first gig.
There we go. That's a good way to say it.
Give this guy a listen to, and
sure. Get over to his website. Get over to his
website,
Facebook site.
and listen to the lyrics and the melodies. And he's a great guitar player as well. And we're hoping for all the best for Alec. Not just another brick in the wall.
Yeah, that's where it wraps it up for today. Thank you, Alec, for coming.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, thank you very
much.
I'm James Smith, and
I'm Bill James. Well, I was when I started the show, and I still.
You still can be if you want to be. Yes.
Anyway, thanks very much for coming, guys. And
anytime, I appreciate it too. So
this has been By the Fire.